What's up, everyone, and welcome to Lowered Expectations. Thanks for lowering your expectations and hanging out with me here. I do appreciate it. This intro is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you guys about why I missed a video on Wednesday and what the future of my videos is possibly. So start off with why I missed a video on Wednesday, and I'll try to make this quick. A bunch of you guys have been asking about my Mini, the little car in the corner here. And as you guys who've noticed it will notice that it's now turned around the other way. Somebody came at the last minute. I've been trying to sell this. I'm not in the best financial situation, and somebody came to look at my car, and I had to take a bunch of stuff out of the attic. It took the majority of the day to deal with that, and then I was dealing with the emotional trauma of possibly selling my project car for the rest of the day. Anyone who's sold their project will know all about that. I've also been dealing with making a video on the ultrasonic cleaner for VEVOR. That is another thing. I almost forgot that as soon as I was done dealing with the Mini, the possible sale of the Mini, my neighbor came over with his broken snowblower, and so I need to fix that. I need to tear into it, find out what's wrong with it, order parts, get that sorted out. I've also been building a new burner chamber head. I'll show you guys that at the end of the video. I won't go into great detail because I don't want to spoil it, and there will be a few dedicated videos to that. I'm going to do basically a quick build video, and then we'll do some testing on it, and fingers crossed it actually works. There was something else I wanted to say, but I forget now. Quite some time ago, I told you guys that I was going to be cutting a lot of the fluff out of my videos, that I was going to shorten them up and just show you guys some of the major experiments, and that if I did an experiment 3 times, I was only going to show you that experiment once. Then a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys that I was going to be releasing more frequent videos so that I could catch up with them. Well, I started releasing twice as many videos, and then I did the math in my head and realized that I actually can't catch up doing that. I would have to release more than 2 videos a day to be able to catch up, because sometimes I was doing 2 or 3 experiments in a single day. So mathematically, it just doesn't work out. The reason why I'm saying this is what is going to happen here is I am going to either make one large video and put a bunch of snippets of a bunch of experiments in. One of the reasons why I'm struggling with this is because I've had conversations in the comments section where I've told people like, yeah, I've done that experiment, I'll release a video on it in the future. And when I said those things, I actually believed it. I was trying to do that. But yeah, there's way too many experiments that I've done to actually make full-length videos on all of them. Or like I say, I would just I'd never be able to keep up. I'm just going to keep falling behind. So with that said, safety warning short, don't do what I'm doing. It's stupid, and use your heater the way it's supposed to be used. Affiliate link. If you want to get a heater like mine and help me out, there's an affiliate link in the description. And what else? I made notes for myself. Yes, explain the heater thing. So in the last video, we were trying to heat up a little finger tabby thing to draw heat into where the oil comes in so that it would flash off. And I've decided that that thing has too much mass to it. It's too much thermal mass, so it's not heating up enough. And so in this video, I've cut a piece off of it, and I think that's where this video picks up. I know this was a crappy intro. I apologize. Let's do it. I've decided I'm going to put this back together with the heater cut. I've cut a big piece off of the heater, so that should allow this to heat up more and more quickly. That's the plan anyway. And then in order to test the durability of the tungsten in this sort of environment, I am just going to stick it through one of these holes. So the burn chamber has these holes in the back. I've made the holes, so that's why it has them. I'm just going to stick it through like that so that it actually just hangs in the path of the flame, and that will tell us how durable it is. And if it hasn't eroded, then we know that we can use tungsten to yeah, try to get heat back into the burn chamber without worrying about it eroding away. That's gonna fall out of there. 100% guaranteed. So how am I gonna stop that from falling out of there? Until it gets assembled, I am going to tape it in place with a piece of electrical tape. So now that won't fall out while I'm putting it together. We'll see if there's any remnants whatsoever of the tape when we take it back apart next time. Actually, I'm pretty certain that I will forget about it, so you guys will have to remind me. I'm going to slap this thing back together. We're going to do some testing. I'm not going to bother filming, firing it up, and doing all that again because it's going to be the exact same thing that it was last time. I will just come back when there is something to update you guys about. It is the next day. I ran the heater until 3 a.m. It didn't give me any issues, but I shut it down before I went to sleep. And I'm ready to fire it back up again. This is how much waste oil mix it burnt last night. The heater started up flawlessly, which usually means that there's no major issue with a blockage or anything like that. So I am going to let it warm up. I'm not going to show you guys all of this process because we've been through it 100 times, but I'm going to let it warm up on diesel, switch it over, and then the next thing you guys will see is either me updating you saying I'm adding fuel or saying that there's something wrong with it. I started to shut the heater down because I noticed some issues, and then I tried to film this clip, but I've been having issues with allergies and the smell of diesel just making it a whole lot worse. So let's see if we can get through it this time. The heater was warming up. It seemed to be struggling a little bit. I checked to see what was going on, and I noticed a little bit of fuel on the fuel line insulator where it goes into the ductwork. So normally this piece of ductwork sits on there, and there is a little insulator that goes over the fuel line. That's this piece. So I thought it was just that the fuel line had come loose, so I pushed on it and noticed the temperature of the heater immediately started going up. I pulled the insulation back and immediately noticed a giant split in the fuel line. Right there. This is happening for two reasons. One is that I put this pipe on there and it causes the fuel line to make a sharp bend right at that area. That's why it broke where it broke. But also it gets quite hot in this area. This is what I've come up with. I've got a gentle bend in it here that sends it straight out through the opening, so there is a lot less stress on this. It is now several hours later. I will try to put that information here, and I've come out to a big cloud of smoke. I was coming out to the garage to switch it over to diesel and to check on it. And the temperature in the burn chamber is 268 degrees Celsius. I've already tried to shoot this clip once. It was 269 at that time, but the GoPro seized up, so I'm recording it again. I've switched it over to diesel, and we've got to monitor the temperature now. It seems to be fairly stable so far, but it hasn't really, the diesel hasn't gotten all the way to the heater. So I've opened up some windows. I'm actually gonna, I think what I'll do is crack the garage door open, the big overhead door, because this is not healthy. And then I'll just stay right here in front of the heater where it's nice and warm. I'm going to set a timer for, I'm gonna say 20 minutes. I'm also going to put some of this clean stuff. I don't have any of this in the diesel, so I'm gonna put some of that in the diesel and then set a timer for 20 minutes. That it is currently minus 20. It was minus 16 this morning. It was actually quite nice the last few days, but apparently the temperature has dropped. I was wondering why it was only 15 degrees in the garage when I came out here. Also, I guess while we're here, we can see it burnt this much waste oil mix. until 3 a.m. So the first part of the test that we did, and then today it has burnt this much more. Based on the temperature here, it looks like it's still running pretty well. And we are sitting at 235 Celsius on the outside of the burn chamber, and once again 208 on the heat exchanger. So I am going to set the camera up so that you guys can watch the temperatures as I switch it back over to the waste oil, diesel and gasoline mixture. I don't know when the last time I told you guys what I was burning, but I am currently burning, let's see if I can get this right, 70% waste oil, 20% diesel, and 10% gasoline. Here comes the oil. Whoa, it's going up. Wow. The fuel is boiling away and the temperature's rocking it up. Why is that turned down? Who turned that down? I must have turned it down, leaned it against the remote or something. Wow, I like this. I like that a lot. This is a really promising number, and so is this. I'll come back and update you guys when there's something to update. I was in the house and I saw the temperature dropping, but I decided to just leave it. At first it dropped to around 200 for a little while, so it was up around 208, 210. Dropped to 200. The next time I looked at it, it was down to, I think, 185 or something like that, 188. But what is more worrying than that to me is that the burn chamber temperature is down to 175. I started going on a huge rant there, so let's just jam you guys in there so that you can see the oil coming out the inlet. If it doesn't turn around a little bit, I'll probably just shut it down because, well, it's just gonna shut off when I go inside, and then it'll just have a big mess of oil in it. So anyway, I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right, that's enough of that. I'm gonna go in the house, let it switch over on diesel, or I've already switched it over. I'm gonna let it clean itself out on diesel a little bit. And we'll take it apart tomorrow and see what's going on in there, because it's not looking good. I've also had a bunch of people tell me that I should stand my heater on end because of where the oil is building up in the chamber, or where the soot is building up. I did try that once and I put it in one of my videos, but it didn't work and I didn't document it very well. So I put a, I don't know, 30-second clip in one of my videos of me running it that way, but apparently a bunch of people missed it. Let's see what the burn chamber looks like. Okay, there's some stuff in there. Not as bad as it could be. This is what it looks like inside of the burn chamber. I kind of suspect that it'll clean up pretty easy, but I have no idea on how to stop this from happening, because from what I can tell, it doesn't look like it's actually burning dirty anymore. It just looks like that is leftover stuff that doesn't burn. So, you guys can see the outside of the burn chamber now is burning quite clean. We don't have a cold spot anywhere on it. So it used to always build up a cold spot at the bottom where the carbon would gather, but now the carbon has all gathered basically right off of the opening, the reduction ring or whatever they call it. So the stuff inside of there, you can see I'm just tapping on this and it is literally falling out, so it is not in there very, it's not in there very securely. Almost all of our buildup is just this white crumbly stuff, just ash. It wasn't getting terribly hot at the end of it. It smells very much like diesel, and it is black, not white. Of course, I want to know what you guys think, so be sure to let me know in the comment section below, but I am of the opinion that we have now done at least a few tests in a row that show that we initially had enough temperature in the burn chamber area and the oil was flashing off and burning clean. We know this because we're not getting that black carbony stuff or oily mess inside of the burn chamber now. What we are getting is a white ash that is quite soft and falls apart. The problem is that as long as this stuff is in the oil, it's going to continue to build up, and when it does build up, eventually it causes the heater to start working poorly. It seems as though the high temperatures actually cause this ash to appear more quickly, and my heater actually doesn't run as well as sometimes when it was burning worse, if that makes sense. Anyway, I am going to compile a bunch of footage together. Probably I'll try not to make it a 3-hour video and show you guys a bunch of tests that I've done between the last footage that you just saw and current day. I told you guys I was going to show you the burn chamber head that I was working on. I will try not to go into a bunch of detail about it. I'll just show it to you, and you can draw your own conclusions. But I am really excited about it. I am about to start testing, and like I said at the first of this video, I believe anyway, is I will be doing a video basically on the build of it, show you guys how I built it and some of those details. I've been testing an ultrasonic cleaner in the background while I've been doing this, so a bunch of it will be either voiceover or text explanations. But anyway, this is the burn chamber head, we'll call it. And again, I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail, but I will kind of let you guys draw your own conclusions from what you see. It's not 100% finished here, but as you can see, it has 2 lines going into it, and it's got a brass thing on there. This actually threads out. Hopefully I can get a video out on this soon. I do have a whole lot of stuff that I need to do, including fixing my neighbor's snowblower and doing a bunch of testing on the ultrasonic cleaner. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I know that this was a bit of a weird video, especially the intro and outro. Hope you guys are okay with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.